My 19-year-old mistress got pregnant, so I'm going to marry her. Here is a divorce paper for you and I. It was a too abrupt and too outrageous statement. Still, I calmly received the papers. I'm filling them out now. My name is Elle, and I'm 37 years old. My husband, Aaron, and I are married after going to the same school as classmates. We have 3 children. My eldest son is in nursery school and my 1-year-old boy twins were born last year. All 3 of them are very tough to discipline, but I am also taking care of my parents-in-law and doing housework. To put it bluntly, there was someone who didn't understand how busy I was. It's my husband, Aaron. Aaron doesn't do any of the housework, childcare, or caregiving. You've been acting so entitled lately just because you're doing housework, childcare, and caregiving. You weren't so arrogant in the past, so don't get on with it, okay? I'm busy, and you ask me to help you with housework and childcare? What are you thinking? It's up to others to decide if you're working hard or not you. If you don't know that, you can't call yourself a housewife. It's pathetic, really. You should be grateful that I'm feeding you all. Aaron said, putting on his suit with a bag in his hand and headed out to work. I sighed. Elle, is that Aaron again? Father-in-law. When I was picking up my eldest son from nursery school and feeding the twins, my father-in-law called out to me. What the hell is he going to do when he owes everything to you for what he has now? I can't believe he's calling you a failed wife. That stupid boy, really. It's okay, father-in-law, I don't care, and I don't think anything of it, because I can forget about it without even trying. It's fine, we should just let him say I'm a bad wife. But he is understanding and always on my side. He doesn't think of me as a failed daughter-in-law who gave birth to 3 boys, but rather as a daughter-in-law who was able to do it. That alone saves me a lot. My father-in-law has some small mobility issues, but he is able to live his daily life. The problem was my mother-in-law, who had dementia and called me the housekeeper and wandered around. Elle, I'm going to take care of the twins, so can you watch my wife? Okay, give the twins this meal. If you have any questions, please call me immediately. I asked my father-in-law to take care of the twins and went to check on my mother-in-law. Housekeeper, housekeeper. Yes, what's wrong? I will be busy taking care of my mother-in-law and twins all day today. But it can't be helped. Eventually, everyone will become one, and I didn't get dementia because I liked my mother-in-law. Housework, childcare, nursing care. Since getting married, she has not had the help of her husband, and has been watching her parents-in-law all the time. My father-in-law does not yet have dementia, but his legs are weak, so he has given up his driver's license. So when I go shopping or go to the hospital, I'm the one who accompanies them. My kids are still little, and the boy twins born last year are masters at breaking toys. I work busily every day, like my butt is on fire. I don't even have time to call my friends, but I was lucky today. My father-in-law was taking care of my mother-in-law, and the twins took a nap together, so I called my friend for the first time in a while. It's been a long time. How have you been lately? The best friend on the other end of the phone was who was my classmate at the same school but doesn't know Aaron. Yes, I'm okay. What's up, sounding so down? Is it so obvious? I've had enough of my life now, but I'm tired. From morning to night, housework, childcare, and nursing care. I don't have time to rest, and I'm kind of tired. Your husband doesn't do anything, does he? He tells me not to embarrass him, so he doesn't even take the garbage out. What the hell is that? It's a divorce case. What are you going to do next? Well, I have a father-in-law and a mother-in-law, so I can't get a divorce, and my children are still little. After all, my eldest son is still in nursery school, right? He's still in the prime of wanting to be spoiled. And his twin brothers are babies, you know? But what are you going to do with your parents-in-law and sons if they kick you out of the house, and your mother-in-law's dementia is getting worse every day? Oh, my mother-in-law is calling. It's going to be busy today. Thank you for always listening.
Bye. Bye.
Don't overdo it. I hung up the phone and looked into my mother-in-law's bedroom. Yes, what's wrong? Housekeeper. My mother-in-law didn't have dementia from the beginning. For a while after I got married, I was loved by her. However, her appearance gradually became strange, and 2 years ago she was diagnosed with dementia. Daily, every day, triple of housework, childcare, and caregiving. Even though I have a father-in-law, I have no time to rest. I know. My eldest son is still in nursery school, and my twins are still babies. I need to be more solid. But at that time, I was still unaware. The fact that I am trying to do my best on my own is strangling me. I was stuck in a negative cycle that I could not get out of. And that evening, Aaron came home in an unusually good mood. I'm breaking up with you. The words of my husband, Aaron, with a smile on his face, upset me. What? Why? My 19-year-old mistress got pregnant, so I'm going to marry her. Here is a divorce paper for you and I. At this moment, something broke inside me. Something that strangled me for a long time, strangled me up even more tightly. But I knew. So, I said and did. I'll write it now. Oh. Great, this is it. She could give birth at any time. It's due soon. I'm glad you're so understanding. Well, I'm grateful to you. Aaron is grinning, but there's something he doesn't notice. But I didn't say anything. I signed the divorce papers and tried to pack my things. While packing a change of clothes, Aaron's taunts continue. A plain woman like you doesn't deserve to be my wife. You say that you have to take care of my mom, but you just don't want to go back to your parents' house, right? There's no point in pretending to be boring, you really miserable, wretched, lowly woman. Shamelessness is a good thing, isn't it embarrassing? Please stop, our children, your dad will wake up. Whoa, it's a phone call. Oh, Rachel. You're in labor now? Of course, I'll be there. It's the hospital as usual? I'll be right there. Hold on, Daddy's going to be there soon. Aaron left the house without asking. I don't care what kind of relationship Aaron has with his mistress. I imagined their future. Anyway, I can't leave the house anymore today. When the kids wake up, someone has to take care of them. A few days later, while I was taking care of the children and my parents-in-law as usual, Aaron came home. It was a girl. We only have boys, so it's perfect. Oh, and custody of our kids is mine. You won't be able to feed them, but I'll take care of them, so you can leave in peace. What? Get out of here already. It's useless to beg for sympathy. Your replacement will be Rachel. When I heard that, I thought I was a fool for staying there, so I grabbed my bag. There was no discussion, and custody of our children was deliberately handed over to Aaron. In fact, Aaron even made a note of mine that I would stay away from the house, which I signed. Does he hate me so much that he even prepared something like this? Alright, what's the matter? Your weird understanding. You were so miserable, pitiful, and lowly, so I just picked you up, and you should be grateful for that. Now I can finally have a lovey-dovey life with Rachel. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, someone walked into the house. It was a young woman holding a baby. She seems to have just given birth. Hello, my name is Rachel. Are you his ex-wife? Like Aaron, his mistress is also grinning. There are so many boys here. I'm glad I gave birth to a girl. I didn't make eye contact and walked out the front door. Then, meanly, Rachel chases me. Does giving birth to a boy mean that you are great because you have given birth to an heir? No, but if you want to think so, go ahead. I couldn't deal with her like an adult, so I left the house in anger and moved to my parents' house. When I returned to my parents' house, my mother welcomed me. You have been a little fatter before, but you're so skinny now, like a skeleton. My mother listened to me. When I told her that I was getting divorced, my mother was angry, but I could read the near future. Anyway, I feel sorry for myself for escaping from housework, childcare, and nursing care just for a short rest. Now I want to praise myself. The call from Aaron came immediately. It's been 5 days since I left. Come back, it was my fault. Hey, we're a couple, aren't we? So it's a bit of a prank. We're divorced, right? I don't have a home to go back to. Build a love nest in the house where your cheating partner is. I'm rooting for you. Hey, please. You're my wife. I was wrong. I already know the situation. I haven't heard it from Aaron, but I can imagine what would happen if I left home. How about Rachel, your mistress? She can clean, cook, raise children, and care better than I do, right? Then it doesn't have to be me. Oh, that gutless thing has already moved out of the house. Hey. Come back. We're a couple, aren't we? I signed the divorce papers, but I also wrote a memorandum? I didn't submit it, I threw it all away. Anyway, come back. Please. Please. I ignored the call twice. I signed the divorce papers and wrote the memorandum. There is no reason to go home. But when I thought about my children, I decided to go home once. When I returned to my parents-in-law's house, I saw a disaster. My eldest son cries, I'm hungry, and my twin second son and third son also cry. Their cry sounded like a scream. My mother-in-law said, "Housekeeper. Housekeeper." Screaming and wandering, my father-in-law and Aaron are looking down. First of all, I cooked a meal for my children and then gave them a bath. My twins had a severe diaper rash. I even panicked to find medicine for diaper rash. And I comforted the girls sleeping in the new crib. There, my mother-in-law snuggled up to me anxiously. Housekeeper. Yes, let's go to bed, it's okay, come over here. When I calmed the situation down, I first asked. Where's Rachel, your cheating partner? She can do more than I can, right? Well, she went out and hasn't come back. My emails and phone calls have been rejected and I can't get in touch with her. That's what I thought. Well, did you know? It was hard for me and my dad, and Rachel must have been probably overwhelmed. I guess so. If you know, why? You can imagine that. Someone who has no experience with child rearing cannot help with housework, childcare, and caregiving. But did you help her? You're a couple, so of course you did, right? Oh, that's pathetic. If you're a parent, you know you can't do it all of a sudden. Giving a birth is not a goal, it's a start. Do you think you can get pregnant, give birth, and raise a child with a causal determination? And do you think a 19-year-old child could see my mother-in-law in such a state? You're joking yourself. Even though I was overwhelmed, a child can never do it. You don't even know that. Then, my father-in-law came out to say sorry. I'm sorry about my son. Can you come back? Please. First of all, bring back Rachel. Where are you going when you leave such a child alone? It's been less than 2 weeks since the baby was born, right? Like I said earlier, we haven't been able to get in touch with her. So, what are you going to do with this baby girl? Childrearing is not easy. You're entrusting your child's life. What are you thinking? Aaron and his father-in-law then got quiet. For the time being, I'm satisfied that my opinion has been accepted. Halfway through our conversation, my mother-in-law came in, so I took her back to bed again. And soothed my twins. Aaron is playing with his eldest son, but to me it only looks like he's just trying to get me in a good mood. Then my father-in-law says, my wife wouldn't be convinced if it wasn't you. It's okay, it's not your fault. Mommy. My eldest son cries, so I hold him. What's wrong? I want mommy. The eldest son said that, and smiled at me as I comforted him and played with the toy in a good mood. So? What about Rachel? Where has she been? Her parents' house. She wrote this to me in an email. Aaron hesitantly showed it to me. In the text, Dana said that she was tired and that she had been cut off from her parents. So after you kicked me out, Rachel couldn't take care of her father-in-law and mother-in-law, and she couldn't raise 3 children, so she was exhausted, and she couldn't raise her own child, so she threw everything away and left? She can't help being cut off from her parents. Where did you meet Rachel? You said she's 19 years old, a college student? Rachel is the girl I met at the bar. She was working part-time. When I was busy with housework, childcare, and caregiving, I went to the pub without helping. Which one is pathetic? Hey. That's it. No, father-in-law, let me tell you. It's a good argument, and it's clear which one is right. I'm really sorry, I was wrong. You're saying I didn't do it. What are you complaining about? So what's wrong with that? You think you can forgive me from such a high level? Mostly. Well, I'm back. There, the rumored mistress returned. From the tone of her voice, she doesn't seem to understand what she has done. I was offended by her attitude. Rachel, where have you been? Don't even take care of your own children. No, it's okay, I just needed some break. You're going to disappear for 3 days for a change of pace. I'm disappointed in you. What? It's your fault in the first place. If I ask you to help me with the housework, you won't help me because you're busy with work. Damn, why parents kicked me out, they don't want to see me anymore, all because of you. I have nowhere to go anymore, I have no choice but to come here. Why am I being blamed when I'm not bad? Everything, all Aaron's fault. What? Wait. Before the argument heats up, I exclaim. Look at what you're doing in front of your kids, they're scared. When everyone looked at them, my eldest son and twins had frightened expressions on their faces in the playpen. They are playing with toys while checking our faces. What are you talking about in front of your children? What are you saying? You left the house. You're the one who does housework and caregiving. But you walked out of the house without permission and forced everything on me. I'm tired, but no one cares. This is not what I imagined. This is not childcare or housework. My daughter is not cute and I didn't want anything like this. Next moment, I found myself slapping her cheek. Everyone is quiet. Rachel looks at me with defiant eyes. What violence? You're a failed mother. No, you're not doing anything as a person. What? You say your kid is not cute when your daughter is right in front of you? How dare you? Always put your child first. That's mother. You're just like a kid now. If something happens to your child while you're out, it's all your fault. If something happens, it will be too late. With tears streaming down her face, she was sobbing. Rachel knows who did the wrong thing. Apologize to your daughter before you make your own claims, because that's what a mother is all about for her children. You don't know what a mother is. If you give birth, you can be a mother, but bowing your head for your child is what a parent should be. Until you know that, you're just a woman, not a mother. Rachel broke down crying. Aaron stood dumbfounded, not even running up to her. I picked up the bag I bought. Well, I'm divorced and lost custody, so I'm leaving. Please be happy with her. Well, wait, don't you love your kids? That's not what you said earlier. Because I'm divorced from you and I don't have custody, so what are you going to do? Do you want a 19-year-old girl to get divorced? I don't want to go back to being a housekeeper. No, but I've brought a memorandum with me, but if you're going to pay alimony, why don't you also pay me and Rachel? You played with the mind of a 19-year-old kid and even made a child with her. Do you think pregnancy is only a women's problem? Pregnancy is a man's responsibility. You deserve a lot of responsibility. No, it's right, but I can't pay alimony for two. Oh, do you think such a convenient thing will pass? Father-in-law? What should we do? What do you think? Aaron, if you want to pay for your sins, pay alimony for two. But it's such a lot of money for two people. If you keep being like that, I'm going home. Let's face it. You always try to get away with it and don't take any responsibility. Don't you think it's pathetic as a man? What are you going to do about Rachel? She cannot do housework, child rearing, or taking care of in-laws. That's what you're guilty of. Do you know? Don't run away from it. Aaron, Elle is right, you can't run away from sin. No way. Now you have to do 3 things. Apologize to Rachel, your parents, and your children. And an apology to me. Please pay the alimony firmly. You're just running away from your weakness. That's how you atone for your sins. Wrong. No. So you know. Why don't you apologize to your kids? And to Rachel and your parents? You can apologize to me at the end. You're an adult, right? You've helped Rachel with her baby this time, but you've always abandoned your child, haven't you? No matter what, you didn't even try to touch your kids at work, so you can't pay alimony? If you think that makes sense, you're less smarter than a child. No. Elle is right. Do everything she says. You stupid son. Don't yell at me in front of my kids. Of course we both want to. Don't take advantage of your kids now. You can keep the word of the memorandum written to you, okay? If we bring it to a lawyer, alimony will be clear, right? Do you want to do that? The memorandum you have written will be a reason for a respectable alimony, so you can decide to pay the monthly alimony here or go to a lawyer. I'm good, even if you tell your lawyer everything. Your harassment is unavoidable. Be prepared, okay? Dad, Aaron, I won't take your side. What? Why? Be on my side. Aaron, how trashy are you? Elle is wrong in this situation. No way. Come on. I will never do anything for you. Elle, I'm sorry for my stupid son. So come back, please. If it's not you, my wife won't stop wandering around. Father-in-law, I'm sorry, but I'm going to my parents' house until I get alimony. Getting a divorce, signing a memorandum, but no apology or alimony from him. There is no way I will accept it. I said it once and for all, and at last Aaron sat down. I pulled out a note from my bag that Aaron had me to write. Look, you're telling me not to go near this house, right? And I'm just following it, no? I wonder what your classmates would think if they found out that you were such a childish person. Oh. When I was flickering the memorandum, Aaron picked it up and tore it up on the spot. And Aaron laughed. This is the end of the memorandum. Oh, that was just a copy. What? Aaron, who had a stunned face, nodded in dismay. There's no way I can take the original copy of the memorandum, you know? It's not gonna work like that. So, what are you going to do with alimony? I keep asking and cornering Aaron. I can't have him get away here. This man needs to be punished for his crimes. I'll pay alimony for 2 people, to you and Rachel. So come back to me. I filed divorce papers or registered my marriage with Rachel. You and I are still a married couple, that's it. Please pay properly. My father-in-law, Rachel, and I decided on the amount of alimony for the future. I had Aaron sign to promise to pay us alimony. Aaron was kicked out of the house by his father. Dad, why? I don't want to live with someone like you, you've bothered both Elle and Rachel. Live alone for a while. Pay the alimony well. Dad. Aaron was kicked out at the door, sat there for a while, and then disappeared somewhere. The remaining problem is Rachel. Can't you rely on your relatives, or have you really been cut off by your parents? No, I don't have anyone to rely on, because at home I was a nuisance. I want to protect my baby. Can you keep us in this house? I do housework, caregiving, everything. Although sounds, but Rachel exhausted, she seems to be reflecting on it in her own way. I really want you to live in this house, but I think you should rely on welfare. Are you familiar with what's available for you? No. I don't know what to do now. It's okay, I actually have welfare knowledge. After that, I introduced Rachel to a welfare worker I knew. Although it is different from a shelter, I recommended a facility called a mother and child dormitory for a limited time. Elle, I am really sorry for everything. And thank you so much. Now I'm going to start over with my daughter. It's okay, you can do it. I'm raising 3 children, and I've been doing okay. When you have a problem, you have to depend on various people. That's a mother's job, too. Without saying anything, Rachel bowed her head deeply and walked into the mother and child dormitory. So I saw her off and went back to my house. 6 years have passed since then. My second son and third son, who was 1 year old, are now in elementary school, and my eldest son, who was in nursery school, is now a junior high school student. Aaron, who was kicked out of his home, has not appeared in front of us for a long time, and has been paying only alimony. After that, both my mother-in-law and father-in-law got sick and passed away, but my father-in-law made a will that gives me his assets, and thanks to that, I don't have any problems with my life. Where is Aaron and what is he doing? Well, I don't look for him because I feel like he has another woman now. I get emails from Rachel from time to time. If Aaron hadn't led her on, she would have had a different life. But now she lives with her daughter, whom she named Posey. It's best if they're well. Then, when my eldest son was in high school, I suddenly received an email from Aaron. Whatever it is, it seems that he is working part-time to pay alimony for 2 people every month. It was an email asking for a reduction in alimony, but I have no intention of reducing it. I decided to ignore the email and blocked the call. A few years later, my children grew up and I lived quietly on my own. I've been so busy, and now that my kids are grown, I should go on a trip. Why does Aaron keep paying alimony when I said it's already enough? Suddenly, I was contacted by one of my classmates. Now that our children are adults, we are still in touch. Hey, do you know that your ex-husband, Aaron, was recently caught? Why? Didn't you see the news? He was making money illegally. The destination of the money is currently being investigated. I got concerned about the money that I still receive in the name of alimony. I called the police and told them about Aaron and the money he was sending me. It comes to light that Aaron, who dabbled in a sketchy part-time job, became mentally ill and unable to understand things, and still pays alimony out of habit. I was surprised by this and refunded the money to the victim through the police. This surprised the eldest son, second son, and third son. What is Dad doing? I'm speechless. I'm embarrassed and don't want to walk around the neighborhood. Yes, but this kind of thing is called causal retribution. If you do something wrong, you'll have to pay for it. So you guys shouldn't do anything wrong, right? Okay. After that, I wondered if I should go see Aaron, who was indicted, but I didn't. Because it's someone who doesn't have anything to do with me anymore. In this way, I began to enjoy my freedom.